Joining me now to talk more about the emotional and financial toll student debt takes on Americans is Kyle McCarthy, Director of Community Outreach for Default, the student loan documentary. Welcome, Kyle. So tell us about your findings in making your documentary, just how serious the student debt problem has become in the U.S.
Well, first of all, thank you for having me on today. And, we're constantly seeing so many crazy stories, and it never ceases to amaze me what we'll see. And, Default really, it really looks at the stories of people that have taken out private student loans, and those are the stories, or those are the student loans that really have less consumer protections than the federal student loans. So those are what we're really seeing even more today than we were several years ago. So, Sallie Mae, they're really investing in these private student loans today, and that's what they've been dumping millions and millions of dollars of lobbying money into, to really chip away and to rip away the consumer rights for. So we're seeing people that can't get married and that have had their credit destroyed and their lives ripped upside down because their credit is destroyed, and they can't get jobs once their credit is destroyed because they're 60% of employers are now checking credit reports. That's an example. We're seeing people that have to pay multiple times what they took out. So, it's just endless what we're seeing today, and it's just unfair, and something has to be done about it. And, that's one reason why I got involved with the Occupy graduation movement, and that's what's really kind of spreading right now. And we're setting, like what I heard earlier when you were talking about earlier, is we're spreading this to the campuses, and we're allowing the campuses to take the shackles, the balls and chains to the campuses and to wear their debt on their caps and gowns to show that, we're drowning in this. People are drowning in this and can't get out.
Now, Kyle, I do want to show a clip. I believe we have a clip of your documentary.
I'm unemployed. I'm disabled. I'm living with my mother. I have no income. If it weren't for my mother right now, Sallie Mae would be calling me in a cardboard box on a street in San Francisco. And I still think if that were the case, Sallie Mae would still want their money.
So a very sad story there, but are many more Americans in the same shoes as him?
Yeah, and we're only going to see more of that with, with this generation today that is being forced to take out so much debt, and with the inflated college price.
And Kyle, how do we get to this point? The magnitude of the problem, the student debt problem, is unprecedented.
I think one major reason is the removal of bankruptcy protection. So there's really, whether or not someone wants to file for bankruptcy or not, that's one key defense mechanism that a consumer has, because once that's removed, that's really not capitalism anymore. So that's something that no one can really fall back on. So that allows prices to just explode. And so when, not only that, we've got a lender such as Sallie Mae, which owns the collection companies as well, and they're dumping millions of dollars into lobbying, and they're buying our legislators. So, and they also own the collection companies and can tack on an extra 25% on top of your loan and collect on the back end as well. So people are having their lives destroyed because they wanted to better their lives, and it is just not fair. And that is one reason why we're seeing such an uproar over the last few years.
And now we have this Occupy, as you mentioned before, Occupy student debt in the works. What effect do you hope this will have?
Well, we're already seeing the effect. We're seeing legislators actually pay attention and saying, like, oh my goodness, we have to at least acknowledge that Generation Y, the millennials, are in serious trouble. We're seeing Representative Hanson Clark has really come out and said, here's a bill, the HR 4170. Here's something we have to at least put forth and, raise, and people have to come together and at least raise the issue of student debt forgiveness. Unfortunately, we haven't really seen the Republicans do much about this except tell our generation to pull yourselves up from your bootstraps when, there are no bootstraps left. And, that's really unfortunate because, when our parents were our age, school was so cheap and so much cheaper, if they paid anything at all. And now you cannot work a part-time job or a full-time job and pay for school. You have to pay for it over your entire lifetime. And that is so sad. And if you are able to pay for it, it's good luck getting a really good job. And like you said earlier, 50% of people coming out of school have a job, if they have one at all.
All right, Kyle. Thank you very much for coming on the show. That was Kyle McCarthy, Director of Community Outreach for the documentary Default, the student loan documentary.